I see some old friends and new friends. Hi, Howie. Nice to see you. And Banu, I hope you're not calling from Turkey.
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm in New
Because we've made the time difference has totally like all our Turkish friends had to drop off, except Nilüfer is here, so okay. But, yeah. Hi, Cheryl.
You said that, Aisha, we can put our locations and see how global we are today.
Oh, let's do that. So I already did that, but
yeah, if you click the 3 dots on your image, you can rename yourself.
With your location.
Yes.
Of course, you can rename yourself as a new person, so. Hi, Queenie, how are you? Nice to see you.
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And then Neela, Darlene, Amelia. Oh, Cheryl, you're also, woo, very cute. Some of us have a head start. So, hi, Denise. And let's see, Suhilti is joining. Hi, Cynthia.
Hello.
Hi, Sai. Who is new? You want to put, if you're new, put in the chat that you're a newbie, first time. And maybe how you found us. Bonjour, Nicolas. It's kind of late for you.
Bonjour, Aisha.
You're a
Yes.
late bird.
It's 11 p.m. Yeah.
You're like an owl.
But it's nice to be with us, with you. With you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you have your pipe cleaners?
Yeah, everything. Everything we need.
They have pipe cleaners in France?
I'm quite not sure. It's not usual.
Exactly. Oh, Sarah. Oh, my.
You drew
I
a whole hat.
sent it to me. It's the one from the illustration on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Holy moly. We need a new Zoom format for these hats. Maybe we can design them to go towards the side like horns. That would be. Hey, Stefan. Oh, Berna. Stefan, did you change your hair? Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, I got a haircut, that's true.
Nice. I see, I noticed it. Oh, Berna, that's a dual color. Very cute. Oh, a flower. Nice. Great. Nilüfer found us from Instagram. I was wondering if anybody looks at Instagram. So now I know. Thank you for doing that. And Elaine. Hi, Elaine. Good to see you. So, and Michelle. Ooh. So we have a secret with the hats. Those of us who have the hats have already become friends with Lee. So we have a little advantage. But now we're going to share that advantage with everyone. So we're all going to be equal. Oh, Jeffrey. Ooh, so cool. This is going to be the new uniform going forward. Hi, Verda. Nice to see you. Oh, Letitia, you have it too, matching to your eyeglasses. I like that idea. Mine are all almost, mine match my lipstick color, excuse me. It's right, Lee?
Yep.
That was the idea. Very cool. Okay, so let's get started to make time. And I might not have had a chance to say hello to everyone. But while we're getting started, if you are here for the first time, or maybe this is your second time, please put something into the chat saying that this is my first time or my second time, and a note about how you found us, because I was just saying Nullifer found us through Instagram, and I'm grateful to her because I thought nobody comes from Instagram, but now I stand corrected. So I have my co-hosts, Maltam and Leah, and our speaker today, Lee Kim, and very excited. This is our virtual tea number 86. Every time I'm just amazed at the number of teas we've had, and some of you have been here 80 times, so that is dedication. And for those of you who are here for the first time or second or third time, thank you so much for giving it a try. You're now among some amazingly authentic, kind, and creative people. So welcome to our community. And this cycle of the virtual tea, Design the Life You Love virtual tea, is dedicated to design the long life you love. That is because I am in the process of finishing my book, and I actually wanted to share my good news with everyone here. I got my editor's notes. I just went through them and incorporated them into my manuscript. I'm actually ready to send it back to her, but guess what? She loves it. And so I'm super, super excited. And she said that she especially loves the section on friendship. And Lee, who's our guest today, is going to talk about friendship. She's also part of the book. So thank you so much for all your support through this process. And as you know, Design the Life You Love is transformative, and people who are as young as 13 and as a little bit older, like 90 plus, and everybody in between have tried this out, transformed their life. And I've designed many things, from potato peelers to office systems to concept cars, but nobody has ever told me, oh, your potato peeler has changed my life. But so many of you here and elsewhere have told me that this process has changed your lives. And that's why we're here together. And this is our hearts beating with excitement at sharing what we know with you. And today I'm very happy to share with you Lee Kim, and who's going to teach us how to make new friends. So, and we're going to, this is part of, well, I should say that's the only agenda item today. That and kind of talking to you about deconstruction, reconstruction. We wanted to give Lee maximum amount of time, so I'm going to stop talking shortly. But deconstruction, reconstruction is the process that we follow, and that is the foundation of Design the Life You Love, because we want to deconstruct our lives, or a subset of our lives, like work, and then look at it from different angles and think about it differently. And before we put it back together, knowing we can't have everything. And that's why design is so beautiful, because you can come up with different ways of putting something together. And then there will be one thing that excites you, and then that's what you want to express and bring to life. And we do this by thinking like a designer, which is with optimism. No matter how hard the problem, we believe we're going to come up with a better solution. And that excitement, that positivity carries us towards the future. We have empathy for ourselves and for each other. We think holistically, seeing the big picture so we can connect the dots in new and different ways. We ask what if questions. What if we made these amazing hats out of very humble materials like pipe cleaners? And what if we did that collaboratively, and we learned from each other and we inspired each other, and then in the process we became friends and we learned to trust each other. And we're going to do that playfully, because when we're playing, we're not afraid of making mistakes. And today I am really excited. I've been looking forward to this ever since Lee and I talked about it, because this truly is today an example of so many of the ideas of behind Design the Life You Love, but it's also playful. So we're just going to play and play together. So with that, and part of the reason I reached out to Lee is because through our research into long life, we realized that friendship, different from love, is something you can make. Love is something you find. Friendship is something you make. And if you can make something, you can think about that through that metaphor and say, well, what's the friendship factory? Well, today, what we have around this tea, our virtual tea, is in fact a friendship factory where we're going to intentionally make friends. And for that, you need people. You need shared time, which we have. You need a shared space, which we have through Zoom. A shared interest, well, you were interested in either making hats, making friends, or learning about Design the Life You Love and what happens in these virtual teas. So that's our shared interest. There's give and take. We're going to learn from each other. And through the process, we're also going to have empathy for each other. And then that leads to the beginning of trust. And you also trust each other here because this is, as Denise named it, the virtual tea, the nickname for it is it's authenticity. It's the city of authenticity. And I'm the mayor, and this is my hat. So here we are. Okay, with that, this is the beginning of my friendship with Lee. And Lee, thank you so much for coming today. And please take it from here.
All right, thank you. I'm going to share my screen. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, just the screen itself, right? Just one picture, or 3 pictures actually. So yeah, thank you so much, Aisha. I have been looking forward to this for a long time too. I don't know when we first met, because it seems like we met like 3 years ago, but I think we just met like a couple months ago. So thank you so much for inviting me. I mean, I've been coming to the teas ever since I met you, or even before I met you. So this is just super fun to have someone, some of you actually wearing some of Wearable Tracy's, and many of you actually have asked, like, how do I make it? But before we go into making it, I would like to share some story about how did it all come about. And I call Wearable Tracy, these are the signals that I send out to the world. And I say, I'm here. I would like to make connections. If you can feel the signal, come and talk to me. So the story begins 4 or 5 years ago. On Saturday of May 20th of 2017, I forgot my friend Tracy's birthday. So that's my friend Tracy. And I was really bummed because it was, the way that I found out that I forgot was through Facebook notification. And if you saw my movie, you will see that I have forgot many birthdays, not just Tracy or my parents or my brothers or my husband, but for some reason, Facebook notification telling me that this is your friend's birthday really, really bothered me. I don't know why. And I decided to do something that she and I can understand. She and I both teach design thinking, and pipe cleaner is something that we use as a language, right? Language that we can see. So I wrote my birthday card in a form of pipe cleaners. So that's what my birthday, happy birthday to you, looks like in the form of pipe cleaners. And I went on a day wearing it all day. And at the end of the day, I came home around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It was late at night. So I wore it for more than 12 hours that day. Came home the next day, my daughter reached out to my bag, and then she pulled out pipe cleaners. And she asked me, what is this? And for some reason, again, I thought maybe I should do something with pipe cleaners. And I launched into a project, and I called it Wearable Tracy. I wanted to wear Tracy on my head in the form of pipe cleaners, and I want to do it every day until her next birthday. So it's not being reminded by my trip planners or my note-taking post-it notes. I wanted to really kind of put it in my head that I will not forget. I also created rules to go with it. Number one, I'm going to create something new every day. Number two, I'm going to wear it from 9 to 5. And since I work at a large corporation, this would have been a really difficult choice to make because it's not something that I was very comfortable with. And number three, if somebody asks me, and it is bound to happen, I have to explain why I'm doing it, but ending the sentence with, what is your name? And Matam asked me, will I be able to make as wonderful of a hat as you are? And I said, no.
Lee, so sorry to interrupt you. I couldn't get out of mute quickly. Those drawings, they're fabulous.
Oh yeah, those are my daughter's drawings. So
oh my God.
Yeah, so when my friend Emily was making the movie, she asked me whether Hannah can write in handwriting and also draw. I did the coloring, so I'm going to take a credit for the coloring. And the third one, I actually drew the bottom part. She drew the top part, but everything else, yes. And then I'll get into how she became my partner as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
And as I said, Matam asked me like, hey, will I be able to make that, structure of headpiece? And I said, no. And it was fun kind of going through my first 10 days of Wearable Tracy. And as you can see, it's not 3D. I mean, it is 3D, but it's not in a shape of a structure, right? It's more like a 2D, you can see. So this is day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And I just had a base and I put something on, and it was not thinking about how is it going to extend. I just wanted to make something, put it on. The next following 10 days, and again, I didn't know this until I was preparing for this presentation. I didn't realize that after 10 days, I began experimenting with masks. So for next 10 days, all I made were masks. And then the last 10 days of the first month is where it became a little bit more structured. Right? You can see that it's no longer just 2D flat. It's kind of like shaping the form of, but it had no like the way that you see it now. It doesn't have that shape. So now I would like to go into friend making. As I was walking into the building every day, it was not my colleague who stopped me and said, hey, where did you get that? It was actually ground workers. It was people who are at the front desk, people who are the security guard, people who are working at the cafeteria. They were the curious bunch. They were the one who said like, hey, Lee, I love what you're wearing. And you have no idea how much that meant when I was struggling in my head. Oh my God, people are gonna make fun of me. People are gonna make fun of me. And so they begin to ask me, can I have one? And I was thrilled because by now I have about 30 that I have made, that I have compiled in my office that I was happy to give away. So I begin to give away. And who else? Children. I will be sitting at a Starbucks. I will look out and I saw a child looking into the building, and she's just smiling. So I walked out and I said, do you want one? And she said, oh yeah, but I need to ask my mom. She got one. And then at an event, a child who looked at me, and I always by now have pipe cleaners in my bag. When she was asking her mom, can I have one like that too? I make one. Another child, I was coming out of train station in Boston, coming from New York to Boston, about 5-hour ride. I had a lot of time. So my pipe cleaner hat, by the time I landed in Boston, was kind of crazy. It was kind of like sprawling out. And she asked me whether she could have one. So I gave her one. Children are not afraid to ask for one, whereas adults will say, oh no, you don't have to give me too much time. They don't really think about consequences. They want one, they will ask for one. And then there are places that I would have met people that I would have never met if I didn't have a hat. On the street, on 57th Street, I think it was like 10th Avenue and 9th Avenue, this guy on the top left Do you think he would stop? I mean, if you think about like this big bulky guy, do you think he will say like, yeah, I want one? But he did. So I gave it to him. At the airport, I was actually doing a business travel. I was there I think it was North Carolina for 4 days. And every day I'll make one. So by the time I was done with my trip, I had 5 wearable Tracy's that I had to give away. Otherwise, I have to bring back home. And airport worker, they were commenting. So I said, do you want one? They got one. I go to a bar. The bartender got one. I got an event. They got one. I went to Pret a Manger. She got one. At a Subway, she got one too. At work, sometimes people will say, I want one too. And at an event, I think this is an amazing thing. If I can see sea of wearable Tracy's, it just changed the atmosphere in the room. And in the center is my colleague's son. He wanted to have one. So he came to my office, and that was my office looked like in the before times of COVID. I went to Dubai, and every day I was making one. And these are the hotel workers. And you can see on the right side here, this is camel that I made. And then as I was traveling back from the airport, from one place, another place at the airport, sometimes I give one away at the on the airline too. This one is New York Public Library, and you can see Letitia, who I met also at a like a service design chapter and some other events that I did as well. And the list continues. I was volunteering for Creative Mornings conference, and Tina got one. My coworker got one. And at a bus stop, I mean, actually on the bus, I didn't have time to make a hat. And so I made a butterfly for one. I went to a restaurant, and there was someone who wanted one nearby my office. I didn't have one, so I ran into the office and brought back about 3 or 4. Here is my family. I went back to Korea, and my mom, when I first started, she was terrified that I was doing this. She was embarrassed for me. But when I went back to Korea, and she was willing to wear all these cat ears, my father not so much. So that's that. And almost at the end of the year project, Tracy came back to New York, and we had a reunion on day 346, and she was thrilled to see all the wearable Tracy's that I have made over time. But year was coming to the end, 365, that was my project, and I was going to stop. And the night before, I was sitting at the couch with my husband, and he was thrilled. He was so thrilled because I was wearing this on Saturday and Sunday, and I'll go shopping with him, and people will ask him, not me, is your wife doing some kind of religious ritual? Is it a cultural thing? And he would just say, no, she's just celebrating birthdays every day.
Yes, yes, it's a new religion.
Yeah. So he was thrilled that this madness is going to stop. And that's when Hannah said, Mommy, I don't want it to stop. So she and I began to do a partnership. And so I asked her, Hannah, you have to be my inspiration. Can you draw? And based on your drawing, I'm going to create Wearable Tracy. So if you saw the movie, you might have seen this, me wearing a subway. So this one was based on Hannah's drawing. This is called Mercat, Mermaid plus Cat. And that's how our partnership began. And those kind of things led me to do actually an exhibit in Montreal. So these are all, I think I brought about 400 Wearable Tracy to Montreal. We filled the windows with, this is an optician actually, which I loved because I didn't want it to be like a museum where people cannot, they have to go through some kind of security. This is a place where people can just see from outside, walk in, take one, and walk away. As you can see on the right side, there are some Polaroid pictures. These are replacing the ones that they took. So as people are coming into this shop and take one, I said, you can take as many as you want, as long as you promise me you will spread joy. And if you can just claim that hat with leaving a Polaroid picture and write your name in it, that will be enough for me. And so I got a lot of those things, about 200 commitment from people to spread joy. And my last slide is, these are last, I think, about month of Wearable Tracy's. You can see this is actually Leslie Ann who got this one a few weeks ago. That's the story. That's the story of forgotten birthday, coming to do something. And I had no idea where this was leading in the beginning. If I knew, I probably wouldn't have started because, it's a big commitment. But I have learned so much about myself, about how many assumptions I make about people, about myself, and how amazing the world is. The world is really, really kind place. And, kind of proof is in this room. Look at Michelle. I got a beautiful bookmark from her. Sarah, I just like, she just to exude love. And Jeffrey, your hat, just seeing you wearing it just makes me so, so happy. So that's the story of Wearable Tracy. It's my signal to the world to tell people, I'm here. I don't know how I can show you that I would like to make connections, but this is my way of at least being playful with you all to say that I would like to be your friend, if you allow me. So that's the story.
Lee, your everything you do is magical. You're not only the hats, but how you see the world, how you interact with it, and turn challenges into opportunities. Like, who would have thought that a forgotten birthday could birth something like this? So thank you. You're delighting us and giving us I think for all of us, you're becoming one of our heroes. So
yeah, and I think what I really love about this experience is how much I realize I need a partner in life. And my husband is, of course, my partner in life, but my daughter is partner in this creative journey. And so this is her sketchbook. I think she started this when she was 6 or 7. I'm not quite. She's now 9. And these are the drawings that she does. And, I ask her to just draw what you want, but you will see something common in her drawing. She always has a base. Unless she's actually having people fly in the sky. And the reason for that is because that's very similar to how I make the hat. I always start with a base. Sometimes I actually just start making it and then I have to put it into the base. So yes, and I made copies of the drawings so that I can send it to, if you want it, I can send it to you. So it's really good to have a partner because your partner makes you more responsible and accountable, right? She's the one who said, Mommy, you're not making anymore. When the COVID hit and I wasn't going into the office and I stopped making, I'm still doing the drawing. I'm taking my side of the bargain and you're not holding your end of the bargain. What can I say? She's right. So what I wanted to do today was actually have you make something, but I'm gonna just to kind of quickly go over not what I made in 1260, which is what I made today, but what I made on day 1. How did I make day 1? Because I think it's really difficult for us to go from 1260 to day 1, right? Let's start with day 1. So what I do is I just start with a base. If you have your pipe cleaners, and if you don't have pipe cleaners, you can just start doodling. And I always start by creating a fish. So you see fish?
yes.
I'm gonna fold it. And now I have a fish that's now standing, right, without me holding the end. So I just I have one fish. And I'm gonna create another fish. So I'm gonna create the second fish. So hold it like this and like that. So now I have two fish. I'm going to now connect them together. So go like this. And then you twist one that's live, right? Onto, you just twist it, twist it, twist it. And you do that with all this end. Twist, 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 twist. Aisha is going to send the instruction video afterwards. And when you are done, you will see that some of the ending is kind of sticking. And this ending could actually hurt your head. So what I do is after I'm done with it, I will make sure that the ending is all on the same side. All on the same side. That's gonna be away from my head. I don't want it to poke. So now the ending is in one side. It's ending one side. And if I just go like this, on the other side, if I put my hand, hand is going to be very smooth. So now I have, if I want to make a mask, it will go like this. But I don't want to make a mask. I want to make a hat. So I'm going to pull it. Now I'm going to pull it. So now that becomes a base. I'm going to take this one off. My head is going to look funny. Like this, right? Okay.
You
So
look
now,
like a child now.
So now this is your base, but your hat actually not just have a base, it has a loop, right? So I'm going to make it longer by putting the ending here. I'm going to put about a thumbnail. I'm going to put it like this. And then I'm going to twist it. I'm just making this side longer. Okay, one side is done. Now it's getting longer. I'm going to do the same to the other side. And then, now look, I got really long one. Now it's really long. People do like this. Actually, that looks funny if I put it like this, right? So what you do is you actually have to make a loop and a hook. So I'm going to make a loop on one end.
When you put it under your chin, you look like a Turkish
You look like a soldier. You look like
Turkish villager.
So you want to make a loop at the end. That's going to be about, your thumb. Well, I have very small hand. Maybe it's not going to be a thumb. Maybe it's going to be just smaller than the thumb. But anyway, so now I have my base. I have my loop. I usually put my loop on my left hand. And this is how you wear your hat. You put so that's how it goes, right? Now, well, this is not a hat actually. This is just a base. Oh my God, we worked so hard to just make the base.
No,
But
this is so
however,
cool.
From this point, you could create that stand. So now you made a base. Now you can plant a tree on each one of them. And we're not gonna make a structure. I'm gonna make one tree here.
You're a good teacher.
Thank you. I'm gonna make another tree on the other side. And if the two branches want to talk, I'm gonna combine them too, if you want to. Okay, so then look, now it looks more like a hat. And you can fold it, you can make the shape, you can loop it. Now it looks a little bit more playful, right?
Hey, Lee, have you made, like when you have people over for dinner, have you had them do hats?
No, this is actually first time I am giving an instruction to make a hat. So
You're very good.
thank you. So now all you have to do is just make it on top. And you can just, create. Don't try to make 1,260-day Wearable Tracy. It's not going to come to you. You're going to be very disappointed. But try to make a day one. Day
Yeah.
one is easy. Okay. So now,
It's like do the white belt of hats today, right?
yes, white belt. Exactly. You cannot get
Because
to white
you're a
belt.
black belt.
That's exactly right. We're gonna learn kick first before we can break the board. So now what I wanted to do was, as you can see throughout the process, what was really important to me was to kind of explore the world through this, but really trying to see, can I make a connection with the people that I have no agenda, right? I walk out in the street, I don't know what their job title is. I don't know where they're coming from. The only thing that the person and I have in common is that person feel my signal, and he or she will come to me and she will say, wow, what is that hell all about? So what I wanted to do today is actually have you to be a curious person about the person you might meet in a breakout room. I want you to think about, but you have to have stories to tell too. Just as I had to tell a story when the person came to me and like, wow, what is that all about? I had to tell the story of why I started. So I want you to think about a story about a holiday that you had that you remember. Maybe it was from when you were 7. Maybe it was from your high school. Maybe it was from your college. Maybe it was from this Thanksgiving. Maybe it was last year. Think about your holiday that you remember, good or bad. Now, I'm going to send out, Maltam is going to send you into the breakout room. You're gonna have 10 minutes in the breakout room as your partner is telling a story about their holidays. You are going to be not, if you don't have pipe cleaners, you can draw. If you have a pipe cleaner, while your partner is talking, you're going to make. So I'm gonna model that one. Aisha,
Yes.
this is this before, but can you tell me any holiday story?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the one that comes to my mind is when my kids were maybe 3 and 4. We went to Senegal to my in-laws, and I grew up in Turkey in a Muslim household, very secular, but nobody at the time would make Christmas trees, or we didn't have Christmas basically. Yeah. And so for the first 3-4 years of their lives, my kids didn't have Christmas either, and we didn't do a Christmas tree. But then when we went to Senegal, my mother-in-law was Catholic, and she put up their first Christmas tree. And that was the first time all of us, my girls and I, decorated the Christmas tree. And so that is one of my best kind of memories of Christmas. And since then, even though we're still a secular house, we have made the Christmas tree our tradition. And I remember when my mother-in-law, Giselle, she brought these boxes and boxes of ribbons and decorations that she had accumulated over time. I thought to myself, how does one do that? I can never do that. I won't have this. But then of course, you do it, and your kid makes a little holiday decoration that you keep, and then you put that in a box and you take it out the next year, and then you buy something and you keep it, and then you take that out the next year. So now I'm kind of like Giselle. we have boxes and boxes of things that we've accumulated over the last 12, 13 years.
Wow. Okay. So while Aisha was talking, I was making. So you can see here's a Christmas tree. There's a Christmas tree. And here's your children, 3 or 4. And then there are the Christmas items that you kind of accumulate over time. And this is my gift to you, although we cannot really give to each other. While I'm listening to your story, I just created something of your story with my hand. And that's your story in my hand. So that's what you do.
Thank you. And I'll pick that up from you at Bryant Park one of these days.
So we're gonna go into the breakout room. So you're gonna have, the story might not last that long, but you're gonna have time. So, you can take 2 minutes to tell the story, 2 minutes to tell the story, and then rest of the time you're making it and you're talking. You can do that too. Use however you wanna use the 10 minutes, but you must make something for your partner. If you don't have pipe cleaners, that's okay. Just use paper and pen and draw your partner's story. We just have to show your partner that I was listening and I really care about you.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, here we are. We have 10 minutes and I'm opening up the doors.
Yay.
Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm going to continue to do some arrangements, but you will see.
Oh, and while you're doing that, I just saw Padma. Cool. It's here. Hi, Mary. Are you going to make a black and white hat?
No, I didn't.
Will you?
Oh, will I? Yes, I will.
I think that would be amazing.
I will. You bet. You bet.
I want to make one that grows this way. Fills up the Zoom screen. Are you back in Mexico?
I am. Yes, I am.
I'm sorry I missed you here.
No, one day it'll happen. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Is everyone back?
Yes.
All right. I see some nice hats. Ooh, Verda, nice. And Irina. Lee, you've started a movement.
My dream is one day I get out of the Grand Central and whole New York City is wearing pipe cleaner hats and masks. No longer, New York known as a black coat or a black dress. It's gonna be known as a pipe cleaner city.
Make it and sell it.
Padma said, make it and sell it.
Oh, I don't know. So many people ask me to sell it, and I think I'm not quite sure if I would like that. I would rather give.
Well, we're going to support you in your dream of turning New York and other cities into these people of kindness and friendship wearing hats. So
we're going to have, instead of New York City Marathon, or in addition to New York City Marathon, we're going to have a New York City Pipe Cleaner Hat Day. It doesn't have to be a pipe cleaner. It can be anything that you can wear in celebration of friendship and connections.
I love that. I love that. So did you have a question for everyone after their breakout? I think you did.
Who did?
You.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
I think people can just reflect and yeah.
Yeah, so we can ask them, so what was the highlight of your breakout? Who'd like to share? I see Cindy's super hat. Cindy, was that done in the moment?
No, Lee made this one.
Ooh.
I apparently am just like the kids. I don't even think it took me 5 minutes to ask Lee if I could have one. And I love it.
I love that.
But no, I met Banu and I did a drawing of her children, which she hasn't seen yet. And I'm not sure I want to show the whole group.
Oh, yes, you do. You're like a child. You're not afraid.
It's
Oh, so beautiful.
Oh, that's lovely.
yeah, they moved to the States, the United States 5 years ago. They're 13 and 10.
So are you going to send that over?
I will.
Cool. Anybody else who made a new friend?
Annette, actually, you raised your hand.
Yeah. So I just had joy with an old friend of Meltem, and she made a hat that was of Christmas in Vienna with my son. So she made a beautiful hat. So I don't know, Meltem, if you can show it. And she told me a Thanksgiving story. And I liked how Lee had told us that good or bad. And it was a heartfelt Thanksgiving story, but her brother forgot to ask what they could eat. And there was no turkey, and her boys were little boys, and they were so disappointed for Thanksgiving and no turkey. So thank you. And thanks for having the options of the pipe cleaners and the drawing.
I love it.
Oh, that's right. I remember Aisha, you asked me, does it have to be pipe cleaners? And, we can table that to the last part, but it doesn't have to be, right? It doesn't have to be. Anything that you have at your disposal, use that.
Yeah. So Lee, this was so beautiful, and we have 5 minutes left. If you have a plan for the last 5 minutes, if not, I wanted to ask you, when I interviewed you, you actually gave me kind of your tips for making new friends, and that's going to be in the book. But I wanted to remind you of that, and maybe you could share that with everyone here. And you started by saying, you basically parallel it to the playground and being a kid. And you told me you start by picking your play space. Like in the play space when you're a kid, it's the playground. For you, it's New York, the streets of New York. Do you want to continue to build on that? Because I think it's genius.
Oh my God. I don't remember what I said.
Okay, I'm going to remind you. So I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. But okay, then you said you have to bring a conversation starter, right?
Yes. Although I'm an extrovert, I'm not always an extrovert. So sometimes I actually, when I go to an event, when I was younger, I'll go to bathroom and I'll say, Lee, for the next 5 minutes, you're going to be the most extrovert person. You're going to just say something and you kind of force yourself. It's really hard when you go into an event and you don't have anything to talk about, whether it's a boring topic. But if there's a person who has something on their head, oh my God, I can talk to the person. There's a conversation starter. All of a sudden, I feel at ease. So be that person. Be that person that other people will see, not to pick bites on, but something that is easy enough for people to play with. And I think by accident, I just came up with this idea. It wasn't planned, but I saw that something that is as, not significant as pipe cleaners kind of break down the barriers of people. Like if an adult grown-up woman can wear pipe cleaners, maybe she will even talk to me. Maybe I can talk to her.
Yeah.
So definitely, the conversation starter.
I love that. And that happened to me after I met you at Bryant Park and you gave me my hat. I kept it on until I came home, and I actually felt like the most beautiful person in New York. And then these two women stopped me it happened exactly as you said. They stopped me and they talked to me and they asked me, and then they said, could we take a picture to put it on Instagram? And that's the other thing you taught me, is that you might not want to give your phone number to somebody else, but you could. So Lee, tell everyone the rest of it.
I don't remember.
Okay, so yeah, so sorry. Okay, Lee taught me, everyone, that you don't need to give people your phone number, which might be a little bit too much in the beginning, but you can give them your Instagram handle. So then if they want to befriend you, they can follow you on Instagram, and beyond that, they can text you. And that's kind of like a nice in-between starter, right? When you meet strangers.
I'm so glad Aisha remembers everything I said.
Well, hey, I was interviewing you, so I wrote it down.
Sounds good to me.
And everyone, this is going to be in the book, and you're all going to get the book, and you're going to turn the page quickly to where Lee is, because she has an amazing kind of story, but also now you know her story, but also she kind of walks you through how to make friends. And that's the whole idea, that especially as we get older, we kind of get out of the habit of making friends. We forget. And maybe, and with COVID, oh my God, it's like become even more difficult because we're not going to the office and we're not, traveling as much. So this becomes kind of the new how to make friends and enlarge our kind of social network, people we know, that people we enjoy. So Lee, thank you so much for teaching us and your beautiful story. Meltem, if you could please share where people can find this video to share with their friends, or kind of relearn the art of hat making and making friends. But also, let's also post Lee's New Yorker documentary, which is fantastic. So thank you, Lee.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun.
You're just amazing, girlfriend.
Thank you, everyone.
So glad you found us.
Can we ask Lee, what did Tracy think of your hats?
Oh, she loves it.
Did she forgive you?
She never, what do you call it? Like, she never thought it was a big deal. She never thought it was a big deal. So like, me forgetting her birthday was not a big deal to her. She always forgets my birthday.
And now she's famous all over the world.
Oh, I mean, she's an amazing person. So if you have an amazing friend, let them know that they matter.